All right, boys, we are here in WPF semifinals. Why did I say W so weird? We're in WPF semifinals against Owen, OGalbina, and not only are we paired up against him in WPF, we are also paired up against him in PPR. If you missed the WPF round 1, go ahead and check it out in the top right hand corner and watch it pound on. Click Whirlwind for 30 minutes. But yes, essentially, I'm Playoff Jimmy. Once again, we got that finals jersey on lock. And the best way that I can compare this to you guys who don't know who OGalbina is, who you can also check out down in the description below or up in the top right hand corner, he is the Celtics to our Miami Heat. He is our rival, and facing him, it can go either way, man, and I really hope it goes in our favor. I have a lot of confidence in this WPF matchup. The BBR one, not so much, so we'll see how that one ends up going. But right now, we're focused on WPF. We're focused on making it to WPF finals and breaking that curse, man. I said it before, we played in week 9, but it was very likely that we were going to be playoff opponents. I thought round 1, turns out it's going to be in semifinals. And I'll be honest, this is not our hardest matchup by any means. I actually think the matchup is in our favor a little bit more than not, but it's definitely going to be our hardest opponent in the league. I think Owen is very similarly skilled to me, and I think that it could realistically go either way. However, in week 9, I did say I was bringing a B team, and that holds true. I do have a really cool win con. I'm super excited I get to show you guys, and hopefully it gets to put in the utmost work. I don't see how it doesn't in this matchup, I'll be honest with you guys. Last time, we won with Grassy Seed Rillaboom and Grassy Seed Swords Dance Trailblaze, and Owen was like, I can't believe you brought the best possible set in the matchup. I think we have a better win con this week. I mean, maybe the Rillaboom would have been better in hindsight, but I think we have a better win con this week, but a 2 win con, so we'll see how this ends up going. If you missed the last matchup, Owen's team consists of Spectrier, Terra All Sneasler, Sylveon, Zarude, Andy Shocks, Uxie, Caparaja, Volcanion, Braviary, and Knuckle-Stack. We face Andy Shocks 2 weeks in a row. I'm not a big fan of that, but I do understand how good of a lead Pokemon it is into both matchups because of the limited removal in both teams that we have. I'll be honest, between Hoopa Unbound as well as our Iron Jugs, we actually have a really good Spectrier matchup. There's very few Spectrier sets that really makes me worried, one of which could be an Agility Nasty Plot set, could get out of hand pretty fast, but pretty much none of our Pokemon allows that to set up with the team that we have built, so I'm not too worried about it. And if he has that, he's not Will-O-Wisp, which is very good because we do not want to see Will-O-Wisp if possible. As far as Sneasler, he actually opted to not bring it last time, which I was very shocked of because I went back and checked the KD, and if he brought it and it got a couple kills, it could have been top 5 in kill leaders. So very shocked to not see that. I understand why, because we have Dondozo, we have Zamazenta, who actually can absolutely chew from even a Terra Fighting Sneasler. A lot of really good Scarf options. He doesn't really ever get the White Herb off. We have Gengar to deny close combats for the White Herb. We have a lot of Pokemon that do not care about that Sneasler pretty much at all. So does he bring it in this matchup? I think probably, just because I think it's a little silly to not bring your Terramon. As far as what set he brings, maybe a Choice Banded U-Turn set I think is probably his best bet in this matchup. Terra type, probably honestly just fighting to do as much damage as possible. With U-Turn, maybe even Gunk Shot, close combat, and then Night Slash to hit our Gengar. Although he could also potentially even be Scarf to outspeed our Zamazenta. If he's not Terra Fighting, he could be something like Terra Fire, lets him hit Rillaboom as well as the Zamazenta. Or he could be Terra Grass, with Terra Grass, Terra Blast to hit Hippowdon and Dondozo, if that's the route that he wants to take. As far as the other 4 Pokemon, I think the only other Pokemon that I think is guaranteed coming, and I don't even think Sneasler is guaranteed coming, but the other Pokemon besides Spectrier that I think is guaranteed coming is going to be Andy Shocks. We have very limited removal. It's just Colossal, and he can turn 1, get up a Spike, probably a Spike, but maybe even a Stealth Rock to punish a potential Scarf Jugs, and really hurt our team. The reason that I think he would prioritize Spikes over Stealth Rocks is going to be because of our Zamazenta, because we take 3% from Stealth Rocks, which isn't a whole lot at all, man, whereas we take 12% from the Spike, which can get very out of hand very quickly if we're constantly switching our Zamazenta in, which we should not be. But I do think he's going to prioritize Spikes just because of that fact. Last time he brought Braviary, I really don't see Braviary coming again unless he is extremely worried about the exact same Rillaboom set, which he might be. And if he does, it's probably a Fizdep variant this time. I really don't think he's going to bring it. I think he brought it last time because it was the last week and he hasn't brought it yet. But also going down that same vein, he probably would have brought Knuckle-Stack then. So I'm not entirely sure what value he saw in Braviary that I don't really see. Uxie, I think, makes a lot of sense just because of our Zamazenta. Zamazenta gets completely walled by Uxie, but the fact that we have Hoopa, Gengar, and Iron Jugulis, all of which look good in this matchup, makes it a little tough to bring Uxie. Maybe he brings some sort of a Thunder Wave variant with a Colbert Berry to eat a crunch from us potentially. potentially, or even maybe, I don't know, like a Super Berry or a Rest Talk Rocky Helmet set. There's a lot of options that Uxie could be. Volcanion's another Pokemon that we have a lot of difficulty switching into, and the set that I am the most scared of is going to be Fire Spin, Taunt, Filler Move. Even something like Rest Talk Fire Spin Taunt can get out of hand very quickly, and specifically is there to take out our Dondozo. With the team that we have built, we don't deal with it at all. Even with the Pokemon that we have on our team, it's very hard to deal with that set, but he would get completely walled by Dash Bun with that set, and he obviously wouldn't hit Volcarona for very much damage at all. So I'm not sure if that's the exact set he brings, but some combination of Fire Spin and Taunt on Volcanion is very scary, and I do think Volcanion probably comes in this matchup. Volcanion's speed tier is very bad in this matchup, but in general, Fire and Water dual stab does a lot of damage to us. Zarude is another Pokemon I haven't touched on yet. Zarude definitely could make an appearance. It was Scarf last time. It could be Scarf again. It could also be Choice Banded. We have 3 Pokemon that outspeed it potentially with Zama, Gengar, and Iron Jugs. And the rest don't. And Banded could do a lot of damage to us. The downside to that would be our Volcarona switching in, eating up a Power Whip, and then getting a Flame Body. He might be Pads this time. Pads, Swords Dance, Trailblaze, Rock Slide, Filler Move is definitely an option. That last move would probably have to be Crunch in order to hit something like the Gengar, as well as the Rillaboom. That's definitely an option. And then Sylveon, I don't know why he brought Sylveon last time. I don't think it makes the most sense to me. If he does bring it, it's just for Jugs, it's just for Hoopa Unbound, but Hoopa is not going to care about Sylveon in this matchup. So I don't think Sylveon comes. I hope it does. I hope we see Sylveon, but I think it's super unlikely. As far as the team that we are bringing, we're going to start off this team as we start off every single team. Zamazenta Chloe is going to come on the team, and we're going to be a very similar set, if not the exact same set that we brought against Tiro way back early in the season with Agility, Iron Defense, Heavy Slam, and Body Press. He showed his hand a little bit last game, in which Spectre was very extremely bulky and was there to take hits from the Zamazenta very well, which can get a little bit out of hand. But with a combination of Agility plus Iron Defense, we can get Iron Defenses up. Specifically on Sneasler, we can Iron Defense in that thing's face all day. And Agility allows us to potentially open up an in-game where there is an unburdened Sneasler on the field, or if there is a Spectre still alive, and we don't want to get burned. Heavy Slam does the most damage to pretty much everything, and the things that it doesn't do good damage to, we have Body Press and we have Iron Defense for. We have Iron Defense to boost that Body Press specifically on Zarude and on Sneasler. We have 80 HP, 124 attack, 112 special defense, and 192 speed Jolly. Our investment allows us to outspeed any variant of the Sneasler. We can live a Terra Fighting Sneasler close combat with a +1 Dauntless Shield boost if he is adamant, which is an insane calc. We can live 3 Spectre Shadow Balls and then the rest into attack, and that's just if he is a potential Agility, Nasty Plot, Dual Dance set with Shadow Ball and Draining Kiss. That helps us potentially not lose to that in the in-game. Zama's role here is important. It could be used as a breaker man, but the idea here is to use it as potentially the win con. We have 2 Pokemon that are kind of interchangeable in this, and that next Pokemon is of course gonna be Hoopy, the Hoopa Unbound, and this is the set that I was so proud of that I cooked up to potentially beat Owen whenever we thought the match might matter, but it didn't. So I saved this set. I'm very glad I did. I think this set's gonna go crazy. We are Terra Poison, and Owen's like, I don't know why people bring Terra Poison against me specifically for this matchup. Our Hoopy is Terra Poison, so if the Sneasler gets in a position to where it looks like it could kill us, we can Terra Poison and get a Trick Room off. We are Weakness Policy because we are going to take full advantage of our Dark typing while we can, and hopefully potentially get a Trick Room up in the face of the Spectre and get a +2/+2 boost. Or Trick Room, Dark Pulse, Psychic, and Gunk Shot. Dark Pulse plus Psychic hits the majority of his team. The things that don't get hit are going to be Zarude and Sylveon, both of which get rocked by a Gunk Shot. I also like Gunk Shot a lot on Hoopa Unbound because if we are under Trick Room and he tries to pivot around it with Zarude plus Sylveon, maybe potentially calling a Psyshock or whatnot, we can just Gunk Shot and we can just send something packing. We're 224 HP, 112 attack, 48 defense, 84 special attack modest, and 40 speed. Sorry, not modest, we're quiet. We're minus speed actually, and we're 0 speed IVs, and that allows us to underspeed a Sylveon. We will not underspeed a Knuckle Stack, we will not underspeed a Copper Raja. The idea here is this could be used as a secondary check to potentially the Spectrier. If he Draining Kisses on us again, we potentially set a Trick Room, assuming he doesn't taunt, because I don't think he would taunt in the face of a Hoopa Unbound. He might Draining Kiss to potentially get damage off, but we can also get our Weakness Policy on something like the Sylveon. Or we could even get it potentially once we are Terra'd on something like the Andy Shocks. Our investment allows us to live a Hyper Voice from Max Modest Sylveon after 1 layer of rocks. We can guarantee Oko a Fizz Def Sylveon with Gunk once we are Terra. We can live a Braviary Brave Bird if he is max attack, and then we with the rest in a special attack with a boosting nature. This set I envision the way I envision this game going. I think this set's not going to be the win con. I think it's more so going to be the breaker as opposed to Zamazenta, but I think if we could get into a position to where this set could also win. I'm not positive we can get the weakness policy to proc. There is a chance in some world his Spectrier, he's going to go sack it and he goes to Draining Kiss. And in that case, we get our weakness policy and we pretty much guarantee at least a kill, man. He can pivot around it a little bit, but there's pretty much no universe in which he can completely deny us a kill without switching perfectly every single time. Our next Pokemon, we're going to see a little bit of a trend here. We're going to bring Rillaboom. Again, this Pokemon has not came to one game this season and has impressed the hell out of me. This mon is insane. Even without Grassy Glide, man, we are banded this week because I think he's really going to overprep for the Grassy Seed Swords Dance, because even though he knows it's coming, it still does very, very well into him. So we're going to be banded and we're going to lead this Pokemon to potentially catch an Andy Shocks off guard turn 1. Where U-turn, Wood Hammer, Bullet Seed, and Knockoff. We could have went Drain Punch in that last slap, but I do value knocking off potential items of things that he might want to switch into this Pokemon. Maybe the Sylveon, maybe Volcanion. I do enjoy knocking off those items, but more times than not, Grass move is pretty damn unresisted. Where you turn for Momentum, Wood Hammer for as much damage as possible, Bullet Seed for a Focus Sash lead Andy Shocks. Our EV investment is 16 HP, 92 attack adamant, 96 defense, 76 special defense, and 228 speed. With this investment, we can guarantee Oko a no HP Sandy Shocks with only 2 Bullet Seeds off lead. We can guarantee outspeed a non-Scarf Volcanion. We can live 2 Zarude Crunches and a Spectrier Shadow Ball after rocks, and then we put the remaining EVs that we had left, which was 28, into attack and went to adamant. Like I said, this set does so much damage. There's not really anything that threatens an Oko on us except for Volcanion as well as Sneasler. I don't even think Braviary necessarily threatens an Oko on us if he's defensive, which I think he probably will be. And the whole point is to lead this turn 1, catch the Andy Shocks, and get a Bullet Seed off. He's probably still going to get rocks or a Spike up, more than likely a Spike, but taking Andy Shocks out and trading that for a Spike is going to be crucial. I really see him being Focus Sash lead Andy Shocks to take advantage of our really bad removal in just Colossal. So hopefully Rillaboom will be able to take advantage of that. Grassy Surge is also really good on this team, paired with Zamazenta as well as Hoopa Unbound. Our next Pokemon, we're bringing the mascot. We're bringing Dame, the Gengar, with Encore, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, and Energy Ball. Energy Ball to take advantage of pretty good neutral stab in this matchup in grassy terrain. And we're Scarf, which is something that I'm a little uncomfortable with. I'll be honest, we are extremely hyper offensive this week, as you'll come to find out. I really couldn't justify bringing Gengar in this matchup if it was not Scarf, to outspeed the Spectrier as well as the Sneasler and a potential +1 Zarude. Encore is to lock something like the Spectrier into a Draining Kiss and then pivot accordingly, or even something like the Sneasler into a close combat. If the Braviary and the Capraja are not brought, our dual stabs are fairly unresisted, and hopefully we can catch something off guard with being Scarf. I don't really see this mon ever being brought not Scarf, maybe a sub-disable set, so I don't think he will get caught off guard, but hopefully we can, man. This is mainly to revenge the Spectrier. Pretty much everything on our team does that pretty well. For 24 HP, 196 special attack, 72 special defense, and 216 speed. Timid. This allows us to outspeed the Zarude guaranteed. We can take 2 max modest Sylveon Hyper Voices, and we put the rest into special attack. I'll be honest with you guys, this slot was either Gengar or Volcarona. Volcarona did very well in the matchup with a Quiver Dance, Giga Drain, Fiery Dance, Morning Sunset, and I debated on it for a long time, but I really liked having the immediate outspeed on the Spectrier, so I went with the Gengar, and it also helps with the Sylveon, which is mainly why I debated between Gengar and Volcarona in this slot. Our next slot, I said that we brought the B team last time. I thought that we were going to bring Hippo in the slot every single time, but Dondozo really impressed me last time with how good of a Sneasler check it really is, and how much it just simply invalidates the Pokemon, especially a Swords Dance variant, which otherwise could do super good in this matchup. So we're bringing Dondozo again, the exact same set. I just tweaked the EVs a little bit. I made it a little more efficient. We can guarantee live 3 close combats from the Adamant Sneasler, and then we went the rest into attack to actually make a difference on Calx, and the remaining 4 in special defense. This Pokemon is just here, simply here, for the Sneasler. It can also probably take a hit from the Zarude. It can also help out versus a Volcanion, which is probably what we have to do with how offensive our team is. And it can obviously switch into the Braviary. This Pokemon does really well in the matchup and is very difficult for our opponent to break through. And it's Dondozo, man. And our last Pokemon is going to be more of the same, or the exact same Iron Jugulis set, just with tweaked EVs. And I thought I was so funny. I thought it was so cool because I did have a couple of different sets. I had a booster work up 3 attack set, but if we didn't take care of Sylveon, that set did very, very bad. And I also had a Rest Talk set, but if we were Rest Talk, we had to be max with def, and we didn't outspeed pretty much anything that we wanted to outspeed. So I didn't want to go with that route. If we were booster, it was a one-time use. I like Iron Jugs more as a pivot here. So we're going to be 3 choice Pokemon. We're going to be the exact same set, just with tweaked EVs. Again, more efficient EVs here. We're 24 HP, 40 defense, 208 special attack, 4 special defense, and 232 speed timid. We can now live 2 Spectrier Draining Kisses, which is something that we did not do before. We can live 1 CC after rocks if he's not Terra-Fighting Sneasler, or 1 CC from a Terra-Fighting Sneasler, no rocks involved. This set's a little uncomfortable because I do think he is going to value rocks. If he values spikes more than rocks, fantastic. It's really a toss-up, man. Like I said, depends on if he thinks that I'm not going to be boots in this matchup, which I was almost boots Rest Talk dual stab, man, and I kind of wish that's what I brought, but we're going for a more HO approach to try to overwhelm Owen. And I think our team can do it pretty well, man. Overall, the team does really well. I'm very excited to try out this Hoopa Unbound set and see if we can hopefully be led into finals by Hoopy. 11-point Hoopa Unbound, man. In the semifinals, it's like 3rd or 5th in kills. This mon should not have been 11 points. We have Zamazenta, of course, potentially the actual win con. Iron Jugs and Gengar with the scarves. Lead Rillaboom to catch an Andy Shocks off guard. And then our defensive piece, Dondozo. If you're excited for this match, let me know by leaving a like. Let me know down below, guys. Check out Owen down in the description. He's going to be our opponent for both leagues this week, so get used to him. And be sure to check him out because he makes some pretty similar content to what I make. Thank you guys so much for watching. And for now, guys, this has been John Jr. signing off.